Go live here. Podcast episodes. Nope. Podcast. All right. You got the doc open? The doc U. We got the we're gonna talk about the NBA playoffs. Talk about how fucking miserable it is that the 76ers just shoot free throws all game. It's fucking disgusting and boring to watch. Talk about the Oakland A's selling 5 tickets a game to their fucking stadium. And then
winning.
Yeah. Yeah. And then not sports related, but I was just flying this past weekend and I fucking saw these signs at DIA and I'm you know what, Jared, I'm sick of it. So these fucking conspiracy signs.
You saw the old ones, right?
Yeah, it's still the same ones. They put the same ones up and it's fucking we've talked about this before, I think, but
I haven't seen the paintings in there.
Oh, no, not the paintings. I'm talking about the signs for construction, like the construction walls they had up, and those signs that were all like making fun of people and like, are we making an underground tunnel or are we, like just pretend all the conspiracy bullshit? So,
So Phenomenal Fan probably won't be that long.
Huh? No, shouldn't be. This before
I'm on for work, so.
All right. Well, let me get this fucking going, and then All right, everybody, welcome back to the Phenomenal Fan Podcast, number 22. We got a good episode for you guys today. The NBA playoffs are in full swing. 3 games a night, firing off. Competitive playoff series, bad playoff series, one series and one matchup in particular we're going to talk about, and how the NBA is still pretty hard to watch. Even though the playoffs are supposed to be better and ramped up, still pretty brutal. The Oakland A's are a dumpster, just an actual dumpster, not even a baseball team. They need to move immediately. We'll get into that reasoning why. Not just them, probably a couple other franchises as well. Move the A's to somewhere besides where they currently play. And lastly, we'll talk about a little bit of conspiracy theories, Jared. We're big conspiracy theory guys on this podcast. NFL's rigged. NBA's rigged. DIA is an underground temple for government employees to worship Satan and eat children. So that's just
COVID's a cover up for 5G. Like, everyone knows it.
Yeah, we know all that stuff already, but we can explain that to you. So that's what we're going to do in this episode, and let's get into it. All right, Jared, we're back. We're back once again with the Phenomenal Fan Podcast. My name is Ryan. His name is J-Rock Franchise. Jared, and
in the flesh.
We're here. We're ready to talk, Jared. We're ready to talk about what's unfolded since we've last recorded, and one item in particular is something I just wanted to talk about towards the end. But in the world of sports, we have a lot of action going on, Jared. We got basketball, we got baseball, we got hockey. It's a pretty fun time of the year. I think I kind of like, this April time. Baseball season's going. Basketball is starting to get into the playoffs. Hockey's starting to get into the playoffs. Tonight for the NBA scoreboard, we've got Grizzlies, Timberwolves, Mavericks, Jazz, Warriors, Nuggets. 3 games a night pretty much every day until one team gets eliminated from the postseason. It's been pretty good so far, Jared. I don't know about you. I've been pretty entertained with the games that I've been watching. Grizzlies, Timberwolves has been pretty solid. That series is split at 1 game apiece. Mavericks, Jazz has been entertaining, except Luke is hurt. Warriors, Nuggets has probably been one of the least entertaining series so far. Warriors are just better than the Nuggets, outplaying them.
Yeah.
Heat, Hawks also been kind of
the banged up Nuggets.
No, I get it.
Fuck the Warriors and anybody but their 3 guys. Anybody but I time out. Wiggins is good, but he's not. He was an all-star this year for the first time.
Sure.
Right, but Wiggins is good.
Yeah, he was an all-star.
The other three, Clay's come back, and when he's on, he's really, really good. But when he's off, he's bad. But yeah, anyway, keep moving on. Sorry.
No, it's true. I mean, I feel like the Warriors franchise went from like kind of the lovable, like at the beginning of their kind of domination, like, man, they built it well. They drafted Curry, they drafted Clay, drafted Draymond, like they built it right. And now everyone's like, dude, okay, enough. We get it. Like, we get it. You're fucking ridiculously good. Heat, Hawks has been okay so far. Heat leads 2-0. Bucks, Bulls, surprising outcome of that game. The other night, Bulls actually took game 2, so Bucks and Bulls are split. Well,
it's not surprising though, because it's fucking rigged.
Yeah, true. That's true. I forgot about that. Yeah, forgot it was rigged.
You got to bring that in, and we can let's just jump right into why it's rigged.
Right. Well, hold on. The last one that also validates our rigging point a little bit more is the Suns Pelicans series. The 64-18 Phoenix Suns and the 36-46 New Orleans Pelicans are tied at 1 game apiece. And Devin Booker, by the way, probably the best player on the Suns. Depending on what you value, he's the best player on the Suns, and a top 7, top 10 player in the league. Hurt, out for 3 weeks, hamstring, some bullshit, grade 5 fucking hamstring. I don't know. That shit's fucking annoying. And then I think and Celtics Nets. Nets, I mean, you lose. I don't know what to tell you. Celtics are really good. We talked about that in the last episode. But the last series we haven't talked about, Jared, which is by far been the absolute worst fucking garbage can dumpster series so far, and proves it's not. By the way, when we talk about what's gone on in this series between the 76ers and the Raptors, it's not like this is the only series that like bullshit is happening. Okay, it's not the only series. But in game two, Jared, of the first round matchup between the 76ers and the Raptors, the Philadelphia 76ers won the game 112-97. Okay? They won by 15 points. They were favored by 7.5. So they covered the spread pretty easily. The total was 216.5. It looks like that went under. And yeah, the Philadelphia 76ers, right? You look at this game and you're like, yeah, that sounds about right. 76ers win by 15. Raptors are a good team, but Sixers are better. Come on, we're better.
No Scotty Barnes either.
Yeah, so I mean, I get it, right? I mean, it makes sense. But then you start to just take a nice dive into the numbers, Jared. And everybody after this game saw it, and it's just like there's nothing you can do about it. But as a team figures, Raptors shot 42% from the field, 34% from 3, 83% from free throws on 10 of 12 from the free throw line. They had 97 points. They had 22. They had 35 total rebounds, 16 assists as a team, 7 steals. Pretty good numbers. I mean, maybe not win you every game, but could win you some. And then you go down to the 76ers. 52% from the field, 46% from 3. So better from the field, better from 3, and they shot 86% from free throw. The Raptors shot 83% on 10 of 12 from the free throw line, Jared. The 76ers shot 86%, going 26 for 30 from the free throw line in game 2 of the series. They shot 30 free throws. 30. Joel Embiid on the 76ers by himself shot 14 free throws, and he went 12 for 14 from the line, finishing with 31 points. Joel Embiid, 31 points, 11 rebounds, 0 assists, and so double-double for Joel Embiid. And you see that stat line, 31 points, 11 rebounds. Like that's a really good game, right? Joel Embiid put up 31. Man, he's a monster. He's a beast. 14 free throws. This is why the NBA is impossible to watch on a consistent basis, Jared. This is why. I know it doesn't happen every game, but if there's ever a point that, here's the equivalent, Jared. It's like in soccer. This is the equivalent of a team winning the game 3-1, and all 3 goals they scored were penalty kicks on questionable borderline fouls. It's the same thing. It's impossible to watch.
You know what? Yeah, it's tough because half the shit you'll see because it's not consistent at all either. That's the other.
That's the biggest issue.
Somebody will drive into the lane and what looks like they'll look like they get hammered and there'll be no whistle. Jokic being a great, and I know that's probably sounds biased being a Colorado guy, but Jokic is a great example. He goes into the lane and he never gets foul calls, like hardly ever. So like perfect example, Joel Embiid. The league wants to market him so much to be the MVP. They fucking tried their best. The guy just he's obviously a freak. He's a really good player, you know, but like what is his average? Let's see. He averaged 30. So he led the league in scoring this year, right?
Who, Jokic?
So here's no, Embiid. He led the league in scoring this year. But he also led the league in free throw attempts. He shot 11.8 a game. And he made 9.6 of them. So he's a good free throw. He shot 80% from
sure. Yeah, no, that's great.
But but look at the other parts of the game, right? So that's scoring. So basically he scores 20 points a game and then he gets fucking 10
from the free throw line.
Charity buckets.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he essentially makes 10 baskets a game. As a guy that averages 33 minutes a game. He as a big center makes about 10 baskets a game, and then he gets about, because he's mostly going to be 2-pointers. I know he can shoot threes a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, give him one, right? One or two threes.
He averages 10 points a game off of just free throws. So go down here, look at Jokic. Jokic averaged 27 points a game this year with an average of 6 free throws a game, and 5 of those made. So Jokic got 5 free ones. So do the math here, right? Embiid literally has 5 more points averaged a game
because of free throws,
just off of free throws and off of attempts. So to take that adjusted average and see the fact that Jokic is actually a better free throw shooter, and Jokic actually leads the league this year in scoring, and he averages 32 points. So any case that you have for Embiid, and you can say whatever you want. Well, he gets to the line, he draws the fuck that. They want him to be the MVP. They don't want the big bumbly European guy that doesn't throw down hammer dunks.
Yeah.
The fact that is Jokic plays drunken Buddha basketball. He averaged, he averaged more rebounds than Joel Embiid. He absolutely blew him out of the water with assists.
Yeah, of course. Jokic is
7.9 compared to, where is he? I can't even find him. I don't think he's in the top 50 right here.
Joel Embiid for assists. He probably isn't. Yeah. He probably isn't in the top 50. He's a center.
So Jokic was for assists. Jokic was 8th in the league this year as a center.
As a center, by the way. As a center.
Yeah, should have out rebounded Joel Embiid. Should have averaged with free throws 2 more points than Embiid.
Yes.
Did. And averaged, what was that? 4.2 assists for Embiid compared to
Eight.
7.9.
Yeah,
so roughly 8.
8 to
4
4.
more assists. He absolutely statistically blew him out of the water. And anyone that says anything differently is just they just don't like the image of Jokic. He's
Correct.
a big, pasty kind of. He's not as pudgy as he used to be, but kind of like
goofy.
You know, he's not like a super jacked, white, goofy,
Yeah.
like big European dude. You know, and it's just like it's not the superstars in the league, the guys that throw down nasty dunks, or even like a guy like Luka, who has a little bit more like finesse and skill and can shoot the ball,
right?
Like really elite scores. Jokic scores a lot of his buckets. They're not sexy. He just catches the ball and flips it in, right? And like you just don't see him having kind of like the sexy style of gameplay that the NBA wants,
right? Of course,
for an MVP. But like when you break down the numbers,
it's not close.
By far the best player statistically.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem for me watching in the NBA as a semi-casual fan is that we talk about Embiid putting up 12 free throws in a game, 14 free throws in a game, 17 free throws in a game. And then you talk about Jokic, who doesn't shoot as many free throws a game. And the simple argument coming from somebody, because I don't watch both guys play every minute of every game they play, but people would say, well, like you said, Embiid gets to the line more. He draws more contact. Okay, first of all, from what I've seen, it's not true. Second of all, even if that's just like the argument for a guy shooting more free throws, that is a objective judgment call. Like, it's not like you could say in baseball, this guy throws more strikes than the other guy. Well, the guy who throws less strikes is getting squeezed. No, there's a fucking strike zone. And if you throw it in the strike zone, it's a strike. And if the guy's out at first base, he's out. And in football, well, this guy's more touchdowns. Well, he's gotten screwed on a bunch of calls. No, it's not true. And that's the main thing. One of the main topics that we've bitched about on this channel, on this podcast, is when judgment calls and referees and outside factors essentially end up deciding the game. Jared, take away, let's say the Raptors and the 76ers in this game 2 of this series. Let's just say, let's drop 10 free throws. 10 free throws off of the 76ers total of 30. And you put them at 20 free throws. If they're shooting 86%, I think that puts them at 16 out of 20. So if you're going to drop, instead of 26, you drop them to 16 or you drop them to 17 and you subtract 11 points from their point total, they win the game by 2 or 3 or 4. And then they probably don't win the game by 2 or 3 or 4 because the game unfolds differently because it's closer towards the end of the game. So my point is, the reason why the NBA, to me and many other people, is so hard to watch is not because the regular season is low effort and nobody cares. It's not because superstar players are prima donna and they just demand trades when they're not in the right spot and not making the most money. It's because, for the most part, the NBA is the main sport where the referees can literally change the outcome of the game entirely. Like, even in the NFL, we talk about the NFL referees. The Super Bowl guys are like, well, they didn't throw flags till the fourth quarter. It's like, those are sort of judgment calls, but if there's a blatant missed call on a pass interference, people will see that, and that can impact a game. One play, and people will go, well, this fucking game it's null. This game is void because there's 3 seconds left. They threw a ball in the end zone. It was blatant pass interference. They didn't call it. And so this is fucking bullshit. This team winning, like, people will openly, but in the NBA, it's like, well, there was some contact, so I guess it's a foul. Well, there was definitely a little bit of bumping there. That's probably a foul. And then in other cases, same exact play can happen, same exact result. The NFL example I just used, the guy gets smoked in the end zone, and it should have been obvious pass interference. Referee missed it. You know what? It happens. The next time that happens, it's going to be a flag. And the next time, and the next time, and the next time, and the next time, it's at least consistent with what the calls are supposed to be. In the NBA, I have no fucking idea what a foul is. I have no clue. I see guys get absolutely meleeed when they go up to the basket, and there's no whistle. And I see Joel Embiid lower his shoulder and just elevate to the basket, boom, and one. and he's just fired up, fist pump, flexing. And I'm like, how is that any different than literally the possession down the other end when Embiid went up and challenged somebody and smacked them in the fucking arm? What is the difference? There is none. The NBA fouls are so random, so arbitrary, and because of that, they can just give one guy more than the other. And we're not being conspiracy theorists here, Jared, but the bottom line is, what is stopping the league from giving a directive to the referees saying this guy needs to get fouled more? This guy needs to score more points because it looks better for us. What is stopping them from doing that? And how would anybody find out about that? Nobody would. Nobody. It's bullshit. And that's why the NBA is just it's so hard, dude. It's so hard to get into because it's like, dude, it's so bad. It is so bad. And hey, before you say anything, Jared, hats off to the 76ers because they won this game and it might have been bullshit, but then the game 3 already happened and Embiid hit a 3-pointer to give them a lead with like 1.7 left. They won the game. Whatever. They're going to sweep the Raptors. It's going to be over. So they're definitely the better team, right? And they're going to beat them no matter what, most likely. But it's just so fucking hard. Go ahead, Jared.
No, I was going to say, it's just and like know that they're aware that they're doing it when they come back the next game and the Sixers get 20 free throws, because it's been a gripe all year long. Like, that team's the worst. You have Harden, who's been the master of it for years, the master of getting free throws for years. He led like the league in free throw attempts like 6 years in a row. And he goes over there, and it's just like the two of those guys combined, it's just miserable. And like you know what, like you know what series it kind of reminds me of? It was a couple years back. I think it was 2019 season, maybe, like was it 2019 or was it the bubble when the Nuggets lost to the Lakers to go to the championship?
It might have been the bubble.
Was it the bubble? Yeah, I think it was the bubble. Yeah, it was when Murray was when Jamal Murray dropped 50 like in a couple of games, and so did Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it reminds me of that because I remember LeBron James and the Lakers issued a formal complaint to the NBA that LeBron wasn't getting enough fouls. And the next game, LeBron shot like 20 free throws. And it's like, you just do the math, right? You want to swing a game by 7 points.
Yeah.
Give the other team 10 more free throws. Like, just statistically speaking.
And 10 more free throws is not that many, by the way. Like, that's 5 shots. That's 5 over the span of 4 quarters. 5 fouls.
It's one extra foul.
A quarter.
One extra foul. Yeah, too late in the game, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But it's like, you want to swing. If you want to swing the outcome of a game by 7 points, statistically speaking, I'm guessing that most NBA teams shoot around 70 to 8, probably even maybe like 75 to 80%, like somewhere in there.
Yep.
70 to 80%, somewhere in that range, like as a team. So give them 10 more free throws, and you automatically, percentage-wise, swing that game by 7 or 8 points. Yep. So you want an over to hit, you want an under to hit. You want an under to hit, knock down, like on a missed shot, don't blow that late, that late whistle they always blow.
Oh, yeah.
Where they let the play happen. They see if the shot gets made, and then they decide.
It seems like they watch it rattle out, and then they blow the whistle. No, you're 100% right. Yeah. You're 100% right. If you want to swing a game, just call 5 extra fouls as a referee, and they'll take 10 more free throws. 5 fouls, you do 1 in the first quarter, you do 1 in the second quarter, 2 in the third quarter, and then just an extra foul, toss it in the fourth quarter. They shoot 70% from the line, 10 free throws they take on those 5 fouls. There's your 7 points. And that makes it a game. But the problem is, Jared, people only see the fouls like in the fourth quarter, in crunch time. And they're like, oh, that was bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, it's been bullshit all game. You know that, right? Like, it's been bullshit since the first quarter. So this is not a good thing for the NBA. And I mean, I don't think a lot of people really it doesn't end up impacting anything. People are like, still, I love it. It's like, how can you like the NBA as much as, like, listen, I know it's a decent product, and I know there are some really good games and games that aren't decided by fouls. I get it. But for the most part, the free throws, the fouls, the bitching, the moaning, everything is what makes the NBA a little bit harder for somebody like me and many other people to watch. So that's sort of,
well, then you get also no. It's like no what else is funny. It's like you like when you see the books lines on certain games, you go, "What? Wait, wait a minute! Like why?" And then like I don't know the game the other night. Chris Paul's teams are 1-12 against
one of the
games that
referees. Yeah.
Scott Foster referees, and the Pelicans are 10-point dogs. They come out and they win by 11.
Yeah.
Like it's like the NBA was like I don't know what it is. I don't know if they make more money. I'm sure they do, but I don't know if it's like they make more money. The like you know what I mean. If they have a longer series,
They do.
how much
Oh, yeah.
more? How much more profit are they squeezing out over that extra 2 or 3 games per matchup? You know what I mean?
100%.
And and it just seems like that type of shit happens where the foul calls kind of like manipulate the narrative, and the NBA is the worst about that because yeah, the NFL has some blatant bad ones too. We've talked about the Rams Saints complete lack of a call that should have that literally cost the Saints a chance at the Super Bowl that year. Yeah. Like the NFL has a couple blatant ones. The NFL can kind of do the same shit with pass interference, defensive holding, illegal hands to the face, just all sorts of little bullshit they can do to extend drives, give a guy like Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady or whoever the fuck it is an extra chance to throw the ball 3 times where eventually they'll be successful. Eventually something will work, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Or, you know, we talked about how they can kill a drive with a holding call.
Oh,
I don't
100%.
know. There's so much, there's shit like that, but none of it's as relevant to as the NBA. So it's tough. I still enjoy watching it, to be honest. It's all good, but
yeah, it's tough.
It's tough. And yeah, it's like how do you go about like the lines on the games are what scare me. Like in my mind, the Grizzlies should stomp the Timberwolves. They were 2.5 point favorites today. I think that's like we'll see what happens, right?
But yeah, as we speak, the Timberwolves are up by 7 points in the first quarter. It's 25-18.
So you like look at something like that and you're like, well, that line seems fishy. It's like part of me thinks that you should like the smart bet obviously is take that small spread, but I'm starting to think that it's the other way around.
Yeah,
as they want you to take the Grizzlies at 2.5, thinking, wow, that's such good value for them, and then for some reason the Timberwolves come out and stomp their ass.
Or the Grizzlies win, right? But they win 101-99, and you're like, of course they won by 2. You know, because then people are like, well, it's so close. Then why don't we just take the Timberwolves money line? There's some value in that, right? Plus 190, whatever it is, plus 170, or you know, they're 2.5 point dogs. It's like, fuck, I'll just take Timberwolves money line, and then Memphis wins by 2, and it's just like, oh
yeah,
God, dude.
I don't know. I don't know what factors into like. I know that the way that lines are made is usually like computer, like 10,000 simulations of a certain game.
Right,
There's different models that they use to create lines. But like when you see a line, like a really tight line, like tonight, I would say like, yeah, the Nuggets are at home, but the Nuggets just got their ass kicked back-to-back games, and they're 2.5 point dogs. It's like what being at home is that much different for them?
It's not.
What's the wood different? You know, like what is it? What is
I
it?
mean, maybe elevation.
That's so much different.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
it's just like I don't know, shit like that.
Yeah,
it's annoying.
Yeah. Well, anyways, the NBA is just still, in my opinion, man, it's still just so tough. It's so tough to watch, even the playoffs. But it is what it is, man. Speaking of tough to watch, Jared, apparently Oakland A baseball is tough to watch because the Oakland A's cannot fill up the sections behind the plate, let alone quarter of the stadium, half of the stadium. I mean, looking through the attendance numbers, Jared, I mean, I don't even want to, but I'm gonna. The Oakland A's, they've played 14 games this year. They played 4 at home against the Baltimore Orioles. 4 at home. Let's see here. I guess we'll just have to go to the schedule. Let's see here. They started the season at Philly, at Tampa Bay, at Toronto. They finally got back home against the Orioles on Monday the 18th, Jared. How many people do you think went to their opening day for the Oakland A's? Over under, here, I'll give you a number. I can see what it is right now. Oh, the stadium itself for the Oakland A's holds 35,000, just over 35,000. Over under 19,000 for opening day for the Oakland A's.
I was gonna say like 18,000, literally. That's like or like I was gonna say somewhere from like 15 to 18. Something is just like pathetic.
Yeah,
like a half full stadium.
Opening day, they had 17,500 at their stadium on opening day. Okay, for the Oakland A's, and you're like, well, it's a Monday, right? It is what it is. Like, not a good team. I get it. Tuesday, Jared. Tuesday night, Oakland A's, Baltimore Orioles, an absolute fucking thriller, ringer of a ball game. Oakland A's reported attendance 3,748 people at the baseball game. I mean, hey, if you're a big fan of catching foul balls, I would buy a timeshare in Oakland, and I would spend half the year out there and go to every Oakland A's game because you will catch every foul ball. There's nobody there.
Just running around in the bleachers by yourself.
3,700 on Tuesday. But wait, there's more. Wednesday afternoon, Jared. Wednesday afternoon. Oakland A's, Baltimore Orioles. Baltimore Orioles win the ball game 1-0 with a recorded attendance of 2,703. 2,000.
Jesus.
Dude, there's 2,000 people at the game. And then they played Thursday. Baltimore beat them again, and the reported attendance was 4,429. So they're averaging about 3,200 a game besides opening day. Here's the thing, Jared. You can't fill up the stadium because your team is dog shit, and you can't put a good product on the field. You can't put a good product in the field. You can't field a good team. You can't sign players. You can't be competitive. You can't hold your salary cap or your payroll above $35 million. And you're the owner of the Oakland A's. Sell the team. Sell the team to a different person. An investment in a professional sports franchise is always successful. It always works. There are plenty of billionaire people out there who will buy that team for more than what you're asking for it because of TV deals alone. Once they sign the TV deals, they're profitable. And then anything after that is a bonus.
And it's such a status thing for super rich people too.
Oh yeah.
There's enough people out there. It's such a status thing to be like, yeah, I own the fucking A's. But they should move them to Vegas, by the way.
Well, that's the next point. That's the next point is the Oakland A's need to move to Vegas as soon as possible. Like, they need to start construction on a new dome indoor stadium with air conditioning in Vegas as soon as they can. Because that stadium, I mean, here's the thing, Jared. Do you blame the Oakland A's fans for not going to the game? Their team sucks. Their stadium is horrible. And they don't pay their players. Why would you go to a Wednesday afternoon game? Why would you go? What the fuck? I'm going to do something else with my time. I'll just watch the game on TV. What am I going to drive all the way out there, pay $20 for parking? I'm sure tickets are $3. But pay $20 for parking, drive my car 5, 10, 20 miles with how much gas costs? Pfft, fuck that. It's a waste of my time. Why would I even go? I get it. Makes a lot of sense, actually, why they don't have fans. But they need to get an owner who will invest more in their team, raise their fucking payroll so that they pay their players, and they don't dude, we talked about it before. Oakland A's are just literally a fucking farm system for everybody. Look at the starting all-star lineups for each team every year. I bet 2 guys on each team started their career on the Oakland A's. I guarantee it. Donaldson, Simeon, Olsen, fucking Marte. Dude, it's unbelievable. I mean, it's like, and these guys just play a couple years. Chapman, they play a couple years in Oakland. They do pretty well.
Yeah.
They do pretty well because Oakland's got good player development guys. And then they played 2 years and then they're a really hot commodity. Like, well, here comes arbitration. I don't want to pay Matt Chapman $3 million. Oh, I don't want to pay the best defender in the game $3 million. Trade him. Send him to Tampa. Send him to Toronto. Oh wow, well that's a lot of value. I mean, you guys must have got something back. 2 prospects, 2 guys. One guy in rookie ball, one guy in low A. It's like, dude, what? It's a dumpster. It's an absolute dumpster. Sell the team. Move them to Vegas, and then you will make money. People will go to Vegas even more. Jared, you think people are going to go to a big league ball game when they go to Vegas and there's a big league team there in an air-conditioned stadium? You kidding me?
In the summer, yeah.
In the summer on the strip?
There's already just enough foot traffic. It's like you're there in Vegas for like 3 days. It's like, let's go. If it's somewhat close to the strip, like let's go catch an A's game for the morning.
Yeah.
Let's beat the sun.
Yeah, let's beat the sun. Let's wake up at noon, head down to the park at 2:30 or 3 for a 4 o'clock first pitch, leave in the 7th inning, and then fucking hit the hotel, hit the strips. Let's fucking drink, gamble, fuck, even put a sports book in that fucking place. Seriously. I mean, like, yeah. Fuck.
Dude, that's funny. You know somebody that we didn't even talk about that they just let walk last year? Like, because they let Olsen and Chapman and like the big time stars.
Yeah.
Go. Like Chris Bassett was just 12-4 on the mound.
Oh, and they just traded him.
He's just with the Mets.
Yeah, they just traded him. Dude, he was an all-star last year. He was literally an all-star. They just traded him. It's so bad, dude.
Every year. It's like they just don't give a shit, man.
No, and that's okay. That's the reason. Okay, that's the reason why it's the biggest issue. It's not because the owner of the Oakland A's doesn't have enough money. Because he does have enough money. I think the guy's worth like $2 billion, $3 billion. Just take $65 million, $70 million out of that net worth, get it into liquid, turn it into cash, and then dump it into your team. And then tell your GM, you kidding me? If you're the GM of the Oakland A's and your owner comes to you and they're like, hey, next year you're going to work with an extra $40 million. Oakland A's would never lose a game. With the player development that they have, and their ability to just turn guys into just all-stars, dude, fuck. Move them to Vegas. Just move them. It's so easy, too. I mean, it's not easy. It would take a couple years. They already moved the fucking Raiders out of the same stadium to Vegas. What's the problem? Seriously, what is the issue? Because there's no way, dude, they have to have been talking about it. And they've also done like mock-ups and design, like, little 3D designs of like potential stadium builds in Oakland. Why would you build I'm sorry. I hate when there's more than one team in the same spot. I don't mind it for like New York, maybe LA, but Oakland and San Francisco, like, I'm sorry, Oakland's not enough to have a baseball team. Move them to Vegas. Move them to Vegas. And by the way, Jared, while we're on the topic, expand the MLB to 2 more teams. Add one in Nashville and add one in Montreal. That's all I'm saying. Just do it.
Yeah, Nashville would crush.
Nashville, Montreal, if you're going to add 2 more teams, and then move the Oakland A's to Vegas. There's MLB, hire me, because I'm a genius, and you guys are fucking stupid. So, Oakland A's...
Oh, speaking...
Go ahead.
Oh, yes. Sorry, just rewinding just slightly into the podcast, how we started off. Sketchy line today, right, on the Timberwolves Memphis game.
Yep.
Talking about how the referees just fuck every game up. Here's the players that are already in foul trouble in the first quarter. You have Ja Morant with 2 fouls in the first quarter, so he'll be sitting. Hide him in plain sight. Jaren Jackson Jr., 2 fouls in the first quarter. Dylan Brooks, 2 fouls in the first quarter. That's other than Desmond Bane. Desmond Bane's the only guy that's in there. That's one of their scorers. Pop right over to Minnesota. You have
Anthony Edwards, two fouls.
Anthony Edwards, 2 fouls already. It's dude. Here's another thing, referees, like for the referees, stop fucking ruining the entertainment value of the game. Nobody wants to see the fucking bench play. Nobody wants to watch all the bench guys come in and play. Quit fucking everything up and putting people in foul trouble. And dude, it's gotta be for some other interest, because I'm pretty sure I watched one of the fouls already that like on John Morant, where I think Karl Anthony Towns went up for a layup and like John Morant just like jumped up with him, but I didn't see him hit him or hack him at all, and John Morant gets a foul. Now John Morant has to sit until fucking 6 minutes left in the second quarter, so they don't lose him for the second half. Because he gets one more foul, he's officially in foul trouble. And now the guy can't play defense. He can't drive the lane like he wants to, because somebody fucking sits in front of him, and you make an arbitrary call, another fucking decision call. Is it a charge
or a block?
Or is it a block? Just they don't even fucking know. Dude.
I think they literally flip a fucking coin every time.
Dude.
They flip a fucking coin. They literally flip a coin.
Fucking brutal product. Did you go watch college? Dude, fucking let's go over and watch some of the games that happen in March Madness and watch these guys drive in the lane. If it's not like an egregious foul, half the time you're like, oh jeez, you're like classically conditioned to expect to hear a whistle when these guys drive in and somebody plays defense.
You know why the NBA
because you're used to it, because every time you watch somebody drive in the NBA like that, you just fucking he didn't score, that's a whistle.
Jared, you know why the NBA has been forced to add more playoff games and more teams? Because they aren't making the money from the loyal viewership. So they have to add more games and make more money from advertising and ticket sales and everything. Whereas in college basketball, every game of the tournament is fucking electric. Every game. Because they play harder, the referees swallow the whistles a little bit more. You can't bet on fucking player props and other bullshit that these leagues know exist. They have star players, but other guys can rise up. It's not the discrepancy in the NBA from the top guys on an NBA team to the middle to bottom guys on the bench. The gap between those guys, the top guys and the bottom guys, is humongous. The gap in college between the top guys and the bench guys, not as big. Not as big. So Kentucky could have a guy get into foul trouble and then just bring some dude off the bench who's a 5-star recruit, and they'll win the game. My point is, the NBA is a bad product. And there's not many people that can sit there and tell me, like, I've had people that have seen our stuff on TikTok. One of my girlfriend's friends who saw it and whatever, he was like, well, that's like, you're shitting on the NBA, and that's because you're just not like, you don't love basketball. Like, you don't love it, and you like can't appreciate it as much. I told him, I said, that's funny because I fucking love college basketball. I love March Madness, and if I opened up a TV, if I turned a TV on, and during basketball season, and there was a Kentucky versus Duke game, or let's say Duke UNC, right? Because they play each other. Duke UNC, top 25 matchup, and Lakers Suns, I am watching Duke UNC 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Not only for the entertainment value, but then the other arguments, if college basketball is more entertaining, the fans are more diehard, and yada yada. We already talked about this NBA shit, but it sucks, Jared. So fucking frustrating. It shit sucks. So, anyways.
We got to get it out. We got to get it out.
Well, hey, and listen, speaking of fucking ranting, Jared, okay, I found myself this past weekend, Jared, was on a couple flights, little mini vacation with the lady. And Jared and I, for those of you listening, tuning in, we're based out of Colorado. And going through the Denver airport, there's all kinds of construction going on. These temporary portable walls that they put up to block off the construction that's going on. And, the typical response for most people when they see construction is just like, oh, fucking great. Like, this is going to take forever. It's going to be an inconvenience. Whatever. Like, it sucks. So just deal with it. And then I go through and I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like, what does that say? What do these walls say? What is this? Like, is this an ad? Like, what is this? And this is the exact one that I saw, right here. I was able to find a picture of it because I saw this like monkey head or whatever, and I was like, "Fuck is that?" And I walked up, and it's like, "What's happening behind this wall?" A, gargoyle breeding grounds. B, a top secret Freemason meeting. Or C, an improved airport experience. So they're making fun of me and everybody that sees it, because the story about Denver Airport is that there's a conspiracy on it. The budget went way over the initial budget. There's all kinds of tunnels supposedly running underneath, yada yada, right?
Weird paintings. Dude, that's another thing. I'll let you keep going, but I don't know if you probably, you definitely. Well, you may have lived here. You may have been in college when they were still around. I haven't seen those murals they used to have. They used to have these really creepy ass murals that made no fucking sense for the airport. They made absolutely no sense for the airport. They were like, it was like a line of children, and they were like, there's a guy with a gas mask in a city covered in gas, and this big dude with that looks like a Nazi gremlin, shadow gremlin. I don't know what the fuck you would call it, right?
Yeah.
He's sitting there with a sword, and there's like children crying, and then it goes through, like the three paintings all had a connection. Like there was one, it was like they were like smashing the guns together, and like you could see the world was at peace, but like fucking weird vibes, dude. It's like I'm about to get on a fucking plane that's gonna get launched 30,000 feet in the fucking air. I don't need any more anxiety. I'm trusting a pilot to literally launch me 6 miles into the air.
Yeah. In a metal tube.
In a metal tube and land it miraculously.
Yeah.
Which is just the miracle of flight in general.
Yeah.
But like, tell me I don't get a little bit of flight anxiety. That'd be a fucking lie. So it's like, I don't want to walk into the fucking airport
and see weird ass murals and weird
see shit that's going to make me feel weird and uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But yeah. So this is kind of like, it's funny that you brought this up because that you saw these, because this is definitely piggybacking off of all of those conspiracy theories. And sorry to interrupt.
No,
it's I used to love these YouTube videos on it because I was like, ooh, that is fucking weird.
Yeah. No, it's all true. The Denver airport is a weird place, and I never walk in there with a good feeling, I'll just say. And like I said, there's conspiracy theories about the tunnels that run underneath the airport. There's a conspiracy about why did it run billions of dollars over budget from the initial budget, because it's a publicly funded project. Why is there a fucking blue horse on the entrance of the airport with red glowing eyes? Like, we know the story to that, but it's just like a lot of weird shit. So they do these construction walls, and it's hashtag Den Files, or it's like Denver Files. And I don't know if it was just some marketing scheme or they thought it was funny or whatever, but they're just basically explaining to people like it's just construction, whatever. But just put the walls up and just do the construction, because then at least, Jared, when I see this sign, right? This sign says, what's happening behind this wall? Gargoyle breeding grounds. B, a top secret Freemason meeting. Or C, improved airport experience. It's like, it gives me like a weird feeling. Like, the best example I can use is like, like,
it's very
like you see it like some guy
Joe Biden-ish. I remember when Joe Biden was like, he there's a video of him, like someone's walking by and he's like, oh yeah, we're gonna drink the children's blood, and he says
it's like,
sarcastic.
Dude, don't do that.
Don't. How about I got it? Yeah, just don't fucking say that.
Yeah, it's like when it's like when a guy's got like I don't know, he like opens up his phone to show somebody something, and there's like a picture of like a horse, like something weird. And you're like, oh, what was that? It's like, dude, what? You think I like fucking watch like horses fuck each other all day? And it's like, dude, relax. Like, it's okay. Like I get like a weird vibe, like, and you're defensive. And you're like, dude, like, okay, like it's fine. Just relax. Like, it's okay. I was just like, I just saw horses. It's not a big deal, dude. Like, we can move on, like.
You think I get my rocks off on cats wearing thongs and nipple tassels?
You're like, I didn't even see that on your phone. So now I think you do.
I wasn't even,
you know?
Yeah, I wasn't even fucking looking.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah, so they're like, "Oh, what's happening behind this wall? What do you think is a fucking top secret Freemason meeting?" It's like, well, no. I mean, it's a weird airport, but now it's like, are you guys like? And then the next one, Jared, this is another photo. So here's the 3 photos that I pulled here. This one's got a poll about what's happening behind the wall. That's the one I saw. This one's a construction or cover up with an Illuminati triangle on a construction hat. That's fucking weird. And then the last one is under construction or underground tunnels. And now it's like, okay, are they making fun of me? Are they being defensive? And most of the time it's like people see that and they're like, oh, haha, very funny. We get it. You're not doing anything mischievous or mysterious behind the wall. And then I take a step back and I go, you know what? That's exactly what they would want us to think.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if I was trying to hide something, I would make fun of it and hide it in plain sight. That's what I would do. Like if I'm a serial killer, I'm a murderer, and I'm building a fucking 25-foot trench underneath my house in my basement to bury the bodies and have them melt in formaldehyde. My neighbors would come over and be like, "Hey, what's the big fucking, what's all the construction equipment going on back here? What's all the shovels and the dirt bags of dirt?"
Oh, I killed someone.
Yeah, what do you think? What am I burying bodies down there? Come on. And they'd be like, and then right away they just take it out of their head. So
yeah. What do you think? We're just calling 10 extra free throws because we're trying to rig games?
Yeah, seriously. It's ridiculous, dude. It's ridiculous. Now, am I saying that Denver Airport is an area where they can have top secret Freemason meetings and have underground tunnels and have Illuminati celebrations? No. But if that ended up coming out, I wouldn't be surprised. Then again, it would never come out because why? Jared, come on. Why would they do that? Come on, Jared, under construction or are we building tunnels? What? Are we building tunnels under the airport? Come on, guys. We're not building tunnels for the elite government politicians to find a spot to come when Yellowstone erupts and there's tides of water coming over the coasts. It's not like it's the middle of the country and it's a really safe place for everybody to come. It doesn't make any sense.
We're just egregiously using tax money because we've never done that before.
Dude, it's a joke, man. It's a fucking joke.
Fuck out of here.
Listen, all I'm saying is don't believe everything you hear. Okay? That's all I got to say.
NBA is rigged. John Morant has 3 points.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way,
he shot twice too, and he didn't call a foul.
Oh, and by the way, the 56 and 26 Memphis Grizzlies against the 46 and 36 Minnesota Timberwolves. 10 games better. The Grizzlies are. They are down by 19 points in the second quarter in Minnesota. So.
Yeah, and I don't know if you just saw it. John Morant just drove the lane like 2 minutes ago. Just got absolutely fucking mollywomped in the lane. If Joel Embiid, they would give
foul. No foul. Is that what you're saying?
No foul. They'd give Joel Embiid 20 free throws. They'd be like, dude, we don't know how to else to do this, but like,
Jaren Jackson Jr. personal foul. He's got 3.
See ya.
Yep. All right. Well, Jared, that's gonna do it for Phenomenal Fan. Thank you guys for tuning in. Honestly, we would say never bet the under, but at this point, nobody knows what it's gonna be because it's fucking rigged. So, we're not going to give you any advice. We're just going to say thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you guys. Check us out on social media, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, thank you very much. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on Patreon. Subscribe, get discounts on our merch. Get exclusive access to content that only you would have access to. We got trivia that runs on there. If you answer a question correctly, high likelihood that you'll win something from us. So just check out Patreon. Otherwise, thank you guys for tuning in, and we will catch you guys on the next episode of the Phenomenal Fan Podcast. Jared, it's been a pleasure. We will talk to them later.